Hello everyone, and welcome back to our STEM challenge. Today we are going to make a wind turbine, and this is a little special because it's actually made all out of newspaper and cardboard, even the spinning mechanism. And I'll turn my fan on, and I might have to give it a tap to see if it's going to work. Well, I don't blow my newspapers everywhere. I'll give it a little tap, and there it goes. So if I move it away a little more, it seems to be working pretty good. A little closer. There we go. Yep. Okay. So it works well. Now, we are going to work on a couple of small things when we start this. So what you'll need is, you'll need a skewer again, you need some newspaper, and some cardboard. That's really all you need, and tape. And what we're going to start with first is we'll start with our base. Sorry, not our base, but our tube. And I made it this long because I'm just getting my supplies here. Is I just used a full section of newspaper. Okay, and like here again, you can use a flyer, from the grocery store, a flyer that comes in the mail. It's reasonably thick. It's about 2 pages thick, 2 or 3 pages thick, maybe 2 pages thick. So it's not too thick actually. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it up, similar to if you would roll up a piece of paper. And I guess you could use a piece of paper if you have one available. Just a regular 8.5 by 11 paper, but I don't know if it'll be big enough. This one is a fair size, and you can roll it far enough to get some thickness out of it. Usually, if you want to do this, we would use an 11/17 piece of paper, which is the bigger sheet of paper. But not everybody has sheets like that lying around at home. So I'm rolling this up. I'm rolling it carefully because I need to fold this a little bit because it's going to fold on an angle, and you're not going to prevent that because it's a newspaper, and newspapers tend to do what they want. Okay, so there's my roll, and I am going to put some tape on it to hold it so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Now I'm going to leave some space because we're going to do something special here. We're going to flare the bottom, and I have a piece of cardboard. And if you're having troubles locating cardboard, there again, if somebody's going to the grocery store, they can pick up some cardboard there for free. Lots of times you'll be able to find the trays where canned goods are in, or drinks, the little cardboard trays. And if you need one of those, just take it. They'll be more than happy to let you take it because they have to pay to get rid of that stuff. Now, this is our base, and it's going to go on top. But we need to first make some cuts. Okay, and I am just going to, I want to try to make it so I don't have to do too much cutting with this. So I'm going to try to go around it, but it's going to be hard because it's fairly big. I'm just going to make 4 cuts. I'm going to make, let's see, 1 cut about that far up. So yeah, about that far, that's good. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to look on the other side, so I can try to make them as even as I can, because I want 4 cuts, 1/4 of the circle each. Ooh, that didn't work very well. And it's a little tough to cut because it's fairly thick now, right? Okay, let's see if that worked out. If I fold them up, one's a little bigger than the other. That's okay, that'll work still. One's a little smaller. There. Now it kind of looks a little bit like a paper flower. But when you put it on here, yeah, see this one I'm actually going to have to cut. I'm going to have to cut another one because it's making my paper go flat, and I want to keep it round. And it's okay if you have to make an extra cut. So I made an extra cut here, and that works. That's going to work for our purposes. Right, now I want to tape these down. Right? Tape them down. And I'm going to do that right now. And this is where you don't want to skimp on your tape, because you do want it to stand up. And these flanges are a great way to make cylinders stand up, especially when they're made out of paper or newspaper. This one's got a bit of an angle to it, but that's okay. That'll still work because it holds fairly well. And you also have to realize that this is just paper. It is just newspaper. And when you test it out, yes, you might have to hold it. I had to hold mine because if I let it go, it might bend a lot. But this one actually bends this way and it stops, so we could maybe put the blade on this side. Now, there's different ways you can do this, and this is an easy way. If you don't have a hole punch, I know in our makerspace we have hole punches, and it makes it easier to put holes in. All we're really trying to do is put something in here. Okay, we're putting a tube in, and we just need to make little cuts. But first, we have to make our tubes, and they are special tubes. Same thing you've been making. All right, we just get our skewer and we roll one. This one we roll as tight as we can. Press down on it. All right, press down, take our skewer out, roll like this, and then the trick is to pull it back and just keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Make it really, 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 really tight. Okay, there we go. That should work pretty good. That tape's a little too big for this. And now I want to a piece there. Put a piece. I'm going to put a piece right on the end this time because I want to seal it right up. And I'm going to put a piece right on the other end because I want to seal that one up too. There we go. Done. There's one. Now, this is the trick. Normally when we make these, we use a skewer and a straw. But we don't always have skewers and straws laying around, or especially straws laying around. Now, here's what you need to do. We're going to, instead of, we use the skewer to make this one, we're going to use this paper tube that we just rolled to make this one. And now this is tricky because you want to make it a little loose. You don't want it to be too tight. So when you roll the first little bit, make sure it goes like this. And it can spin. Okay, and if you let your fingers off it just a little bit, the roll will be bigger. And you may have to try this a few times, and it's okay if you have to undo it and try it again, because it'll already be curled the way you want to do it. So that actually, that's spinning pretty good. I like that. I think that might work. Well, we'll see, I guess. Now I want to put some tape on there. I want to hold that piece. I haven't taken this out yet. I should take it out though. And I want to make these a little smaller. And if it's not free spinning inside this paper tube, then just like I said, undo it and try it again. So this is going to fit in nicely. Yeah. And what you may also want to do, and if you have enough tape, is make some real thin pieces. I didn't do this on my original, but it would be something worthwhile to do, is to put tape on the paper seam. All right, because that will make it a little smoother when it turns, and we have less friction rubbing up against the other newspaper, so it might actually spin better. Mine spins okay. Sometimes I have to give it a start. Now if I put it in, and that might actually spin better because you don't have that little edge, paper edge getting caught on it. Okay, so there you go. Bring this back. Now we want this to go on here, but instead of poking a hole through, we're going to cut into here and make it fit right inside. Okay. Now I'm going to make a small cut, and I want the direction to be, I want it to be this way. I'm going to make a small cut. I don't know if this is the right size. I think it might be. I fold it down like this, and I put it in. Yeah, that works pretty good. Better to cut too small than too big. You can always cut more off. Okay, and if it's approximate, it's a bit of a guess, right? It's not going to be 100%. Okay, and you can leave those tabs underneath there because that'll actually help you tape it on. Okay, that's a bit of a trick as well. I kind of like this. That looks pretty good. It's kind of halfway. Sure, let's put some tape on it. Now, I'll put some tape on the tab on the bottom first. I will hold it in place, and I'll put it on the bottom there. You don't want to squish it though, because remember, this piece has to come through. And if you want, you can put it in while you're doing this, just to make sure you yeah, it's a little tight, but that's okay. Maybe what we should do is we should make this piece shorter. We can always do that too. Let's cut it. Let's cut a piece off. Okay. Let's put a piece of tape on here. And I'm going to cut this end off. I'll go like this. There. Because the less tube I have, the better it might spin. Yeah, that works pretty good. Either way, we could actually make it even shorter here. Maybe we should. Let's make it a little shorter. Let's put another piece of tape on. And we'll cut this end off too. There. And if we cut too much off, we have to make a new one. We'll make a new one then. Right? Okay, that spins pretty good. So the shorter you make it, the less friction there is. Now we have to decide which side we're going to put this on. Maybe because it's tilting up that way, let's put it on this side. Now, you take your cardboard, and this is where you have to play around with size. You cut 2 blades. You can actually cut more than 2 blades, but I'm going to do 2. It's a little easier, and it takes a little less time for the video. Approximately the same size. Okay. There's our two blades, and we want to put them together like this, and we want to put this on it. All right, we're just going to use tape to do this. Now you need a hole, and the easiest way to make a hole and do them both at the same time is to push your pencil through, and now we have a hole in both, and we can push it through. And you may not want to push it all the way through though, because this you want this to fit, but it has to just fit. All right, I did push it all the way through. Let's see. Well, I guess that's going to work. We're lucky. Okay, now we want to do this one. I think I want to poke it through on the other side as well. I don't want to bend it. If I bend it, then my blade's not going to work all that well. Okay. There, that works pretty good. I think so. Yep. Now we want to put a little bit of tape on this, and maybe a little more. And you can tape it on an angle like this if you want. Right, just to hold these two apart so that they are 90 degrees from each other. All right, that'll work. And then we should probably put a little piece of tape, depending on how big your hole is and how big your paper tube is. You may actually have to put some tape on on the nose of this, which is that part to hold your cardboard to the, and you may want to not put it on the front, you may want to put it on the back, because if you put it on the back, then the wind won't affect it. But here, the wind might be affected by that. I don't know. I tried to make it on a little bit of an angle. Now, here's the thing. When the wind blows against this, it won't spin because the wind is blowing flat on these blades. So if you look at propellers on an airplane, they have a twist. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to twist the blades. And it's just cardboard, so we can do that. What you do is you hang on to it like this, and I'm going to do it facing me because it's a little easier, is you just take it and you twist it, and you turn it, and you twist them all the same way. All right, and you twist it the same way. And it's just cardboard, so don't worry too much about it. Okay, so turn. I'm just going to keep going around. Turn and turn. All right, so I'm turning them all the same way. All right, the idea is the wind will catch it, we hope, and it will turn it. Okay, I think we're ready to try. That was quick. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way so it doesn't get blown off the table. My little table. Okay, let's do it this way first. Might have to give it a bit of a start. Yeah, feels pretty good. And you might find though that because it's just paper, when you have cardboard on the paper, there's a lot of friction there. And you can maybe put a little piece of tape over the edge to make it a little flatter if you want to try. You have to do a lot of testing just to see. Let's see if this works. If I put it on, let's give it a little. Let's adjust it a little bit. There we go. Now we're getting it. It's just the direction of the wind. All right, that's all. So it's working pretty good. Here, let me bring my fan over. I'll show you. There we go. It depends on the direction of the wind. Oh, that's really blowing now. Holy cow. That works really, really well. You can see that spinning now. I don't know how far away. See, if you catch the wind right, then this one's actually spinning better than mine, the one that I made before. And what you can do, if you want, for fun, you can actually attach some string onto here and try to drive something, or even try to make it a crane that picks something up. That would be very cool to try as well. Okay. So this is working out really well. I'm gonna leave you with this spinning, and have lots of fun with this. Make use of the shaft on the back that's turning. Make it do some work for you, and please post what you make. We'd love to see it and share it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again.